Hey guys, Matt here. Just wanted to chat real quick about the new Exodus Lift, our debut camera. You guys have probably been following along or seeing some of our posts and our pictures over the last couple months and are curious about the camera. Maybe want to see it up close a little bit more, kind of get a better overview of it. And that's what I wanted to do today, just kind of give you guys a full introduction to it and show you a little bit about how it's different, how it works. You guys probably know our story by now. Our big thing was that, we've been using cameras for 10 plus years, each of us, Chad, Steve, and myself. We've been really using trail cameras hard over the last 5 years as a serious tool in our hunting efforts and trying to pinpoint mature deer and kind of really use them to our advantage. One of the things, or a couple of the things that we haven't been totally excited about is one, the longevity of these things and the durability of them, their ability to last more than 2 or 3 years, and then two, the customer service. So today I want to talk about, obviously we've chatted about our customer service policies, our 5-year warranty, 50% off theft damage replacement policy, some of the things that kind of set us apart as a company. But today I wanted to talk about the camera itself and how we've built it, to stand up to our policies and kind of what we've done differently. First thing off the bat, here's kind of an overview of the camera. You can kind of see that it's shaped a little differently, kind of hourglass shaped compared to a lot of the square cameras that are on the market. Everything that we've done on this camera is about curvature and the ability to keep moisture from pooling up on the camera. With some of those square cameras, it's easy for water to stay on top of them and kind of, especially in the wintertime when you have a freeze and thaw, cause problems. When we started doing all of our testing early on in Exodus to try to figure out what was good on the market, what was bad on the market, that was one of the things we kind of figured out, was that moisture is the #1 enemy of trail cameras. Pretty common sense, really, but that was what we kind of figured out was always the problem when it came to trail cameras not lasting for more than a couple years. A couple of the other things we've done is, some other manufacturers have done it this year also, but we've done it a little differently, is we've taken the full clamshell door that you traditionally see in trail cameras and we've knocked that down to a half shell door that breaks off right here underneath of your key components, your LED flash, your lens, your PIR sensor, your indicator lights. These stay sealed from the factory for life on this camera. You're never going to open up a clamshell and have to reset that seal every time that you close the camera, leaving some of these components susceptible to moisture. This seals them up from the factory. We put a gasket around the outside of this area and a gasket around the exterior of the LED flash and some of these other pieces here to where it never gets adjusted from the factory. It's always locked in tight, and there's no prying or bending or bowing going on when you're opening up that camera. When you do open up the camera, although there are some companies that are doing the half shell door now, ours is a little different as it swings to the bottom. And there is a reason for that. When it swings to the bottom, what it does is it allows us to have two of these. As you can see, these are kind of oversized latches. Traditionally on those full clamshell doors, you see those little, 3/8 or half-inch size, latches. These are 1 inch. They're a lot bigger than you're used to seeing. And what that does is, instead of having a hinge on one side, the left side typically, when you have a hinge on that left side, all you're doing is essentially pulling this thing as tight as you can and then latching it with one latch. And you have a real tight seal back here, and it tends to buckle and bind over time because you're just prying on that hinge. And when you're prying on that hinge, the aluminum pins that come in that hinge will tend to bend and bow and even break sometimes over the life of a camera, and it's eventually going to start to let moisture in. With these oversized latches, you're getting a full seal around the gasket that's in this camera. A gasket goes the whole way around your menu view button area here. That gasket gets locked into place evenly with those latches, which is pretty cool. Now, in the interior of this camera, you can see you have a 2-inch color view screen. You can use it for playback for setting up the camera, kind of getting it lined just right. You can take a test photo and kind of see exactly what the camera's getting. You got an on-off test slider button here, and that's kind of how you set the camera up. All your buttons and directional and enter and menu keys are there. The other cool thing is our battery eject button. So when you hit eject, your camera or your batteries are going to get caught by the door. When you swing the door open, there's another little shelf here that the camera will catch on, and that's to keep it from shooting batteries out down at your feet and having them scatter and trying to pick them up in the leaves in the dark and whatever else. So then you just give a little bit of pressure and that thing will come out. 8 AA's. Battery compartment has another gasket around it to keep water out. So that's that. Another look here. When we take a look at the back of the camera and the side of the camera, something that is different that we've decided to do with the cameras, we've put aluminum alloy reinforcement around the side and an aluminum alloy back mounting plate on the back of the camera. And basically, from the style of hunting that we do, we put a lot of these things in our packs. We hike in 3 or 4 miles. They're banging around against each other. And these aluminum alloy reinforcements are just giving them more support. They're keeping your plastic from getting any stress fractures or cracks and dings and dents and that kind of stuff. This rigid plastic on a lot of trail cameras is good stuff, but it will tend to wear down with UV exposure and all the elements that these cameras sit out in. So that extra added enforcement for the style of hunting that we do is really important to us. Also, the back plate. If you're like me, a lot of cameras you set up with a strap, they'll kind of hang down and you get them kind of where you want them. When you tighten that strap up, they tend to bang up against the tree, and it's the same thing. This aluminum alloy backplate's going to absorb some of that pressure. You're not going to have to worry about stress fractures and things like that in your plastic. And it's just another feature we put in to really extend the life of these cameras. Quarter 20 adapters on the back and the bottom of the camera to give you some third-party mounting options. And then we've got dual Python cable adapters. So that way you have some options there. You can even put 2 in there if you want to. And then a lock on your half-shell door to lock out your SD card to where nobody can get in there and take out your SD card. All in all, that's about it. I mean, here, like I said before, you have your black flash LED unit. You have your lens, PIR sensor, and your indicator lights. That's about it as far as just the general overview of the camera. I'm trying to think here. Yeah, that's about it. This camera, like I said, is really designed to last. What you can see is just some of the things we've done on the interior. Around the entire outer shell of the camera, there's a C gasket that wraps from where the camera, where the 2 pieces of the camera go together, and then it wraps back around underneath to really give a full seal on this thing. When you tighten these screws down, when it leaves our facility, that it is extremely watertight and meant to last quite a few years, and we're pretty pumped to put this thing out. If you guys have anything else that you want to see on this thing, just let us know and we'll post another video and show you guys what it looks like even further. Thanks, guys.